Live once again from the Magnaflow podcasting stage here at SEMA 2019. It is Fuel Cult. I'm your host, Chris Hayes. And this afternoon, we've got the gentlemen from Grand National Roadster Show. We've got Greg, Kevin, and John. Good to meet you guys, and glad you're here.
Great to be here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
How's SEMA been going so far?
It's been a good show.
You guys got a full booth and everything?
No, we're scavengers. We're walking around and looking at cars and vendors and meeting with people that we've known for a long time, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, it's it doesn't make sense to have a booth for certain people because it's more valuable to go around and shoot the shit with people and build the relationships. It sounds like that's kind of the approach you guys are taking this year.
It is. Kevin, you can talk to that. He's got more friends here than we know.
Yeah, correct. Sometimes it is. You can get more done just walking and running into people. It's also good to have a meeting point, but yeah, it's so big, just walking around and running into them.
Oh yeah. It's I haven't done that in years because we're always doing this, but yeah, those years that I actually get to walk around, I can just line stuff up left and right for the remainder of the year as far as interviews and things like that go. It's I mean, obviously just about everybody's here. So,
yeah.
The only thing that kind of bumps me out is a lot of my journalist friends, they've like gotten completely burnt out on it. Like, nah, we're not going anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
It really wears on you too when you got to do all that, when you do the reporting and stuff. It just never ends because you start and you're not done until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because then you got to go and have dinner and go meet with these people. And I mean, you guys run into a lot of it too. So,
yeah, it's long days, especially you're on the floor from 9 to 5, and you're
On your
respectfully avoiding collisions with people that are not paying attention. And
oh, you mean half the people in front of you?
Yeah, exactly. That don't belong in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have no idea of like personal space around them.
Right.
So yeah, it's an exercise in patience some days, that's for sure. I want to talk about obviously the Grand National Roadster Show, but we want to talk about there's a number of awards you guys have every year. Why don't we touch on those first before we dive into other material?
All right, sounds good. Let me just give you a little bit of history. The Grand National Roadster Show was founded in 1949 by Al and Mary Slonaker, and it's the longest-running indoor hot rod show in the world. And it used to be up in the Oakland area, and it's got a nickname, the Oakland Roadster Show. Moved to Pomona in 2003, which is
beautiful Pomona Fairplex.
That's right. That's right. The home of Wally Park's drag strip, and it is a mecca of car folk that come together at our event. And always the last weekend of January, we avoid football at all costs because we're football fans too. So we're on the bye week, and we have a good show. It averages 50 to 55,000 people that come through the gate, plus the vendors, plus the car owners themselves, our customers. And the weather's always really good, usually in the 70, 72 range.
I mean, it's Southern California.
That's right.
I mean, it's Orange County, so right now, I mean, it could be 60, 100, or on fire.
Right, right. right.
That's kind of the current state of affairs.
Right. We even had one year in our show a fire, believe it or not, electrical fire up in Building 4. Remember that, Greg?
I do remember that.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was. It was
It's
up in the roof.
Oh, God.
Concrete building that we said could never catch on fire, and
the part of it that could catch on fire.
Right. And the nightmare for us was, do we let the fire department in and put it out, which risks all the cars below them, or let it burn itself out, which is what it did. It was a quick electrical drip, but it was not fun. We moved a couple cars really quick out of the way. It was the black plastic dripping, and you got multi-million-dollar cars sitting on the floor. We I'll never forget. We moved that car from
fastest you'd seen the team move ever.
Absolutely, and the guy was a lawyer that owned that car too, and he was real good about it.
Well, it was funny because we were in the middle of the Hall of Fame luncheon.
That's right. You guys.
We get a call from one of our staff members saying, "Hey, there's a fire in Building 4," and that's typically just a situation that something has to be addressed. Like, no, it is really. Yeah. There's actually.
I think
a fire.
I was the one that was get called, and it's like, no, there's a fire.
Yes. Well, yeah. I think if there was a fire,
right. Exactly. That's what we thought.
So Pomona Fairplex. That's they do the Orange County Fair out there too, right?
No, Orange County Fair is down in Costa Mesa. But we're up where the 57 and the 10 and the 71 all kind of converge.
They do the LA County.
They do the LA County Fair.
LA County Fair. That's
you were close.
Yeah. That's it's funny. LA County Fair. I don't even think that's not technically LA County, is it?
No, it's LA County.
It's right on
just
the edge.
right on
It's
the
just
edge,
right on the line
edge
there?
of San Bernardino County and Riverside County. Yeah.
So I brought it up before. We talked a little bit beforehand. You guys have a number of awards that you guys are, out there, and you're going up. You're going to put some big competition out for an award a lot of people are familiar with.
Yes, and I think the first one I'll talk about, then I'll let Kevin talk about the Al and Mary or the Al Slonaker Memorial Award. But the first award is America's Most Beautiful Roadster, which has been around since 1950, and is an amazing 9.5-foot tall perpetual trophy that you get your name on. In the past, it's been a $10,000 award prize. This year, we're increasing that to $12,500, and we have a new sponsor coming on board, which I'm not allowed to talk about yet. But they're elevating not only the award monies, but they're doing some really nice personal touches, giving each of the guys a customized jacket that's embroidered with the trophy and their contenders' names on it. They're doing private dinners for the contenders, and they're making it a very down to earth grassroots event. It's a competition, but at the same time, we want it to be an experience.
What are the requirements to be nominated for that award?
So that award it has to be a roadster, which is defined as a pre-1937 car without side glass, and a removable windshield. Although we're not as a stickler on the removable windshield as the side glass. So if people are familiar with roadsters, that's what that is. These cars have to be American based. Ford, Chevrolet. We've had other Plymouth. We've had help me out with that, Kevin. What else? We've had.
That's about it.
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So custom roadsters as well, but in the spirit of.
I was going to ask custom.
Yes.
So that could be new, but done in the old style.
Correct, and we've had a 32 or a Model A chassis with just some outlandish cars over the years, and you can imagine in the 60s and 70s these cars were like the Invader and the Alien, and twin motors side by side, and a lot of fiberglass and a lot of airbrushing, and which is really cool. They're definitely period dated vehicles, but they were roadsters, and they took the big prize. So back in the early days, you would take that 9.5-foot trophy home with you, which caused a lot of problems, I bet, with a lot of wives.
Where the hell do you?
Where do you put that?
I mean,
how do you get it home?
That's a very good point.
Your roadster back then. They were driving.
Back then, you drove that car in. So what do you do with that thing? You have to rent a trailer or something.
I bet you there are a lot of guys that drove home with that thing hanging out of the trunk with like a towel wrapped around it.
I'll tell you what.
Sitting next to him, probably.
Andy Brizio, who is we call him the Rod Father. He's in Northern California. That's Roy Brizio's father. He wept when he won that thing, and there's pictures of him and his wife hugging the trophy, and his son-in-law and daughter actually won it 4 years ago, and they actually replicated that photo and did it themselves. It was really cool to see generation after generation winning the big trophy.
That is, I'm sure, fairly rare, but also very cool.
Yeah, very cool. So then our next biggest award is the Al Slonaker Memorial Trophy, and I'll let Kevin talk about that.
Well, it's not a new award. It's been going on since
73,
and it's in memory of Al Slonaker that founded the show. But we're taking it to the next level. New rules, new criteria and stuff. It was always thought of as the best non-roadster in the show, but the car could have been a year-old car or something. Now it's got to be a car that is unveiled at the show. It's got to be a new car. But they can show it in bare metal. They can show work-in-progress photos and such as that for it. But so ARP Fasteners is the presenting sponsor of the award, and it's got a $12,500 prize money to it. And the trophy itself is unbelievable. It's all machined out of billet aluminum.
So it's not one of these cheap trophy shop.
Not even close.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know. I think it's 3 or 4 pieces put together, but it's all machined aluminum. It's a perpetual trophy, and then there's a smaller version that's a take-home.
Now this one's not 9 feet tall.
No,
this one's close.
It's 5.5 feet.
170 pounds
it weighs
of aluminum.
170 pounds.
Okay.
The perpetual version. I think the take-home one is like 25 or 30 pounds.
And we got to give credit to EVOD Wheels for actually not designing it, but producing this. Aaron Brockmeyer.
That's a lot of machine time.
Yeah.
Eric Brockmeyer designed it, and it's at EVOD Wheels is the one who machined it, everything. And it's actually over in ARP's booth on display.
I may have to just go take a look. I mean, they're not very far from here.
Right.
So.
Right.
We had an unveiling of it yesterday, and the crowd went nuts because it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, giant piece of billet like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this award,
They're
again,
pretty cool.
is for the best non-roadster in the show. And we've got Camaros, we've got Mustangs, we've got a Model A Coupe, a 40 pickup, a Tri-5 truck, a 50 Jaguar.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a great mix of different cars, street machines, customs.
Back along the lines of the question I asked earlier, what are the criteria for actually taking part in the show?
Well, on that part of it is they have to enter the car.
Yep.
And we have a panel that we only accept 12 cars. So we'll go through the ones that entered and weed out until we get to the 12. The criteria is it's got to be the best of the best, is what it is.
As far as like years and nationalities of the vehicles.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
No.
Anything
on this
just
one.
so long as it's really nice.
Yeah.
And unveiled there.
And unveiled.
Yeah.
That's the key, is unveiled in its finished form. So that they can show the car in bare metal somewhere. They can show pictures online, in progress, details that, and we got a lot of builders that kind of were saying, we got all these details that nobody sees because once the car's all finished and buttoned up, it's hidden.
Right. I think the expectation is to be able to share that stuff because these shops need to be able to, these manufacturers need to be able to get this stuff out there.
Right. And they need to be able to
make it worthwhile for them.
Promote their shop
of
what they're doing and everything. And it builds excitement out there, like on social media and stuff, people seeing the car as it's progressing, and then it gets to a point and says, okay, you can't see it anymore, you got to come to the show to see it.
I had, Garrett Turbos on earlier, and they were saying, of course, they're somebody to come, people are always asking them, hey, can you send me a turbo? Can you send me a turbo? And they said the big differentiator now is 15 years ago, you send somebody a turbo, and maybe you might see it in a magazine.
Right.
And nobody else knew. But now, they can get these build progress pictures and people that are building stuff and make it worth their while. So they're actually seeing returns on these things now.
That's
so
good.
It's cool that you guys allow some flexibility there.
Absolutely. It's important for the manufacturer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're giving away thousands of dollars worth of stuff, so it needs to be able to see.
Well, and the shop wants to be able to promote their work. And if it's work that nobody's ever going to see it when the car's finished.
Yeah, you're never going to see that beautiful TIG work once it's actually under body panels and stuff like that.
Right. This is going to be a good award. It's got great response so far. We've got people that are building cars for future years already.
Yeah, we just met with a gentleman from Australia who's going to build a Barracuda that's going to enter next year.
That's a big undertaking from Australia.
Yeah.
Is he building it there, or is he building it
there? He's building it there, and it's going to cost him $20,000 just to get here.
It's going to cost him a shit ton of money in shipping just to bring parts over.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a big undertaking because, of course, they don't have Hemi stuff there either.
No.
He's doing it the hard way, that's for sure.
And if you want to see the quality of his build, he's the center feature car right to the booth behind you there in McGuire's.
He's got a Challenger.
I will.
It's amazing. You got to go check it out.
Yeah, I will check that out. See, here's the thing: is like I can check out anything within about a 30-foot radius of this booth before I'm required to come back here and take care of something.
Right. Which is funny. Kind of goes back to having a booth and not having a booth because I've been in this industry for 40 years or so and worked the show, had booths and such, and that's it. As people always think, oh, it's great. No, you don't understand. I see the front door, the snack bar, the restroom, and my booth space.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You don't walk around too often.
The first year I started covering the show with podcast, I walked around with a mini rig in my backpack.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Yeah, you'd think. You'd think. But, you walk 14, 16 miles a day.
Yeah.
And, this was, I think it was 29 or something like that when I did first time. And my back, I don't have back problems. My back was wrecked after that.
Oh,
week.
I bet.
And that's not like, it wasn't like a hugely heavy bag. It was maybe 25, 30 pounds.
But you were there. You were at every hot spot, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. I went around and talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pissed off a few celebrities. Cost of doing business.
Sure.
But
this is a great setup here. A great, good opportunity to come up and chat with you and let the
I can't thank Magnaflow enough for partnering with us on doing this stuff. It's It's worked out very, very well over the last several years. And the nice thing is that now that we've got this stationary place, we can get everything dialed in. Like the audio quality that comes out of this, generally speaking, is really quite good at this point. And it's amazing, like with the stage mics we're using and with that PreSonus board that I've got back there, we can actually, it's almost hard to hear the show going on around you.
Yeah.
So it's it's nice to be able to do that. And then we've got another studio going on back there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hectic. We're cranking out 10, 12 shows a day.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It's a lot of coverage. Magnaflow's been a great partner on this stuff. There was a third award, I believe, too, that you guys wanted to cover, right?
We were going to tell you a little bit about some of the features of the show, if we could.
Yeah, please do.
We've got a room that is our feature room. Every year we change up this room. The hall holds about 107 cars.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's come drag racing then and now. And Kevin and a few other guys have been working really hard at getting some old historic drag racing cars. And you can talk about some of those cars, Kev?
Yeah, we got Shirley Muldowney championship-winning dragster coming.
Are we talking, so with the cars here, are we talking like Pro Stock?
Well,
Or are we talking Top
Pro,
Fuel? Or
all of them?
All of it.
You name it. We got Pro Stock coming. We got some Top Fuel cars, early Top Fuel cars. We got Pro Mods.
Yeah.
Volkswagen.
Do you have any of the early 2000s, late 90s front-wheel drive Civics
Do.
and stuff?
Actually,
Those are
yes.
so cool because
They
they shouldn't be
right.
What
yet
they do.
But see, but if you look at shouldn't be, look at the Volkswagens in the 80s. I mean, they shouldn't have been. In the 60s and 70s, they were kicking guys' asses.
Yeah.
These are fast little cars. So
Yeah.
we've got some of those.
As it turns out, having the engine, over the rear axle
Yep.
was a
Yep.
big benefit to them.
Yeah, and then people, it makes 250 horsepower. Yeah, but it's on the rear axle and it
Yeah,
doesn't weigh
and
anything.
Yeah, and it weighs 1,200 pounds.
Yeah. So,
So-
yeah, we have.
It's a death machine, but
You name it, and it'll be there. Wheel standers, the Hemi under glass.
Yeah.
That Tommy Ivo's 4-engine dragster will be there.
I don't even know how the engineering works on that thing to get those engines mated to the drivetrain.
Right.
That's a lot of complexity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd rather just build one 1,600 horsepower engine than deal with four.
Yeah. So yeah, there's going to be some great things in that room. Funny cars, you name it. If it was
Galpin's bringing a
dragster.
couple of their classic.
They call it the backup pickup, which was a old Econoline, the van style pickup from the 60s.
Yeah.
But you look at it and it looks like, but they call it the backup pickup because when it does the wheel stand, what would be the rear normally is what's up in the air.
Yeah.
So the driver's driving it backwards.
It's wild.
I've seen
it's
that
wild.
One. I've seen that one before. I have seen that before. Yeah, that thing is, again, things that shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's. I had one of my first guests here this week was Stefan Papadakis, who of course was famous for building the first, I think it was 8-second or 9-second Civic.
Yeah.
It's just amazing the stuff that these guys come up with. I mean, and it's just, I don't know. It's sometimes it seems like the industry stagnates on things for a while, but the pace has just been absolutely insane for the last decade.
Yeah, it has been.
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is tire technology. It's just so much better. Stuff that wouldn't stick before now on like a 335, you can get it to stick on like a 275.
Well, and it's funny you say that because back in the early days, the guy would do a burnout down the length of the track, and not because he wanted to, just because couldn't get any traction.
Yeah, and of course we got all-wheel drive now too on a lot of cars.
Right.
So that really does help. I mean, that Charger out front is all-wheel drive, twin turbo.
Wow.
Yeah, and with a bunch of carbon fiber body panels too. The work on that thing was absolutely insane. Yeah, there's interesting things that go on around
Eye
here.
candy everywhere.
Yeah. At a certain point, you just desensitize. You're like, I'm doing
Right.
it. It's just like, I'm glazed over at this point. I'm just like,
Right.
whatever, I don't even care anymore. So, Builder of the Year.
Great. Talk about the builder of the year.
Yeah.
Our builder of the year this year is Dave Kindig.
Okay. What did Dave build?
What hasn't he built?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably a better question.
Where's he out of?
Salt Lake City.
SLC? Okay. Yeah, there's a few shops out there. They got a little bit of a scene going on. Just like the Wisconsin, we got like the Ring Brothers, and, we got a few people out of that area, too. It seems like we got little pockets all around the country of this stuff. It doesn't seem like you get too many people that are, like, alone in the middle of nowhere.
Sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it helps because you can go to other shops and get stuff done and outsource some work. And, I need an electrical guy to do this, or I need an interior guy. Rather have it. But I mean, I had some gentlemen on just a little while ago. They were up in Sacramento, and there's nobody else around them, so they have to do it all in house, with the exception of their paintwork. So, have you guys ever spent any time working in shops, or?
We haven't worked in shops, but we know almost all the shops. And we also run an event in Sacramento called the Sacramento Autorama, so we know all the guys up there too.
Yeah.
Who was it that you met with?
Provost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
They do some real nice work.
Yeah, very nice work.
They brought in this absolutely beautiful book of their work. Really nice hardcover, book.
Yeah.
There was a couple of pickups in there that were gorgeous, but what really took me back was they had a picture of a boat that they'd done in the back.
Oh.
And the interior was insanely nice. Tastefully done, not gaudy like you get on a lot of boats. And it was just beautiful, almost like baseball glove leather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so beautiful.
Boats are huge up in that Sacramento Delta area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rivers, and we find even at our Sacramento Autorama show, a lot of boats.
Yeah.
They come to the show and show off, and they're gorgeous.
And those guys probably, I'm guessing, if you're in that area, how long does it take to get out to Tahoe from there?
Oh, it don't like
Nothing.
2 hours.
Yeah. So no big deal.
No big deal at all, unless you're snowed in. But yeah,
And go out in the summer, take the boat.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
So Dave Kindig, he has built a Slonaker Award winner.
Yep.
Before this prize has been elevated, so he's probably a little bitter about that. But used to be $1,000 award and a small trophy, so now it's $12,500 in this huge trophy. But no, he's a great guy. He has a television show called Bitchin' Rides.
Okay.
And it's on with the Motor Trend or Discovery, one of those channels, and he is. I don't want to call him the next Chip Foose, but he's at that caliber.
Yeah.
And just the neatest guy in the world. Couldn't say much.
There's a few people I've been around here that I'd put up there. Ring Brothers, of course.
Oh yeah, Mike is super, and his brother
Jason Engel over at Classic Recreations. Jason does amazing work.
Yeah. And these are young guys too, which is good.
Yeah, I mean Jason mid to late 40s, so he's got a long way to go.
Right.
Mike and Jim Ring are in their late 40s, but those guys are. I don't see them. Those guys are probably going to do that until they drop dead.
I think so.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We got. We were over at Exalta's booth, and Dave Lane's over there. He's a young guy, and he was a grade 8 contender in Detroit this year with a beautiful car that'll be showcased at the Grand National Roadster Show, and it's cool to see guys like him, Zane Cullen.
Have you had the pleasure of enjoying Jonathan Ward's work over at Icon?
Where?
Icon.
No.
I've seen some of it.
Icon's work is some of the most ridiculously detailed.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
I'll
it's
have to check that
to
out.
an obsessive level where he goes outside the car industry altogether to source parts. He's buying aviation stuff.
Wow.
They're best known for Toyota gave them the green light to actually do restorations and resto mods on FJs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They do some Broncos. They do they do a series called Derelicts. It's seen sometimes at concourse. It's a Buick. I want to say it's like the
50s.
Yeah, early 50s, late 40s Buick, and they threw an LS9 in it, and the paint. I mean, the body's straight as hell, but the paint is as it was. So
Nice.
It's just all worn down and everything, and it's got the most gorgeous interior.
Yeah, I think it's got a Art Morrison, a Roadster Shop chassis.
Yeah, he's got.
under
Yeah, I
it,
believe he's got Arch
and-
chassis.
So
and
it's high tech.
vintage air and all. It's got the modern things. But
Yeah,
the outside.
you got to check out his work.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely do that.
And the amazing thing is that he's got they do the shop where they do little one-off builds, but they've got a full production line going there, and they're based right out of I think they're in Ventura County,
Oh great.
so they're really not far from us.
Cool.
Get them, and then the Singer guys as well.
Yeah.
The Singer again, crazy detail oriented, but I mean you're gonna pay $600,000 for a 911,
Exactly.
so.
And these guys are moderately young guys. You
Yeah.
know? I mean which is a good thing for our industry.
Yeah, I mean this is the next generation that's going to
It
come
is for sure.
I mean, at this point, how many of your guys do you think are coming in that you would say you're going to be in this for another 20 or 30 years? How many of these guys are showing off cars that
We're seeing a lot of young builders, which is
yeah.
exciting. I mean, and it was, 10 years ago, if you would ask me the same question, I could probably scratch my head and give you a handful of names.
And that's why I asked it, because I remember that from when I was first.
And we were all, it was doom and gloom for the industry, but I don't see that now. I think it's a very exciting time to be a part of it.
I think it's entirely advent of frankly, YouTube coverage on a lot of stuff is excited a lot of people. It's I've got my good friend Freddie Hernandez. It's also known as Tavarish online, and he debuted his Murcielago project here, and it was one of the movie cars from the Fast and Furious, completely destroyed, and they restored it to better. I mean, well, it's a Lamborghini, so the original build quality was a little questionable to begin with.
Sure.
But now it's a concourse car, 100%, and it's actually kicking around here. If you get a chance, it's bright orange Mercy. Check it out. The interior is unreal.
So is it in a booth here on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go find it.
Yeah, it's amazing work, done almost entirely by a single guy.
Wow.
And Freddie's younger than me, so we really do have like a future here. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's great.
When I started coming here, it was getting pretty thin around here.
Yeah.
So, and it was a lot of the same stuff. It was like, oh, another Deuce.
Right.
69 Camaro. Okay, another Mustang. Same thing over and over.
We're seeing a resurgence of different stylings of the muscle car, which is great. Like we talked about the Ring brothers.
Yep.
They're doing some phenomenal stuff. We saw their 69 Camaro that, he completely changed the
Or
line
the Javelin that they brought last year or the year before.
Yeah, it's great stuff. The Cadillac that's over in their booth now.
I love that car.
Our dear friend Wes Rydell, it's amazing.
I love the first iteration of that car so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just do such amazing work.
Yeah.
Are there any trends that you're seeing now that in kind of the modern car stuff that you think is actually going to have some longevity to it?
Yeah, I see this high-tech carbon fiber celebrity build.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's car that got crashed.
I had the builders on the other day.
Yeah. They're phenomenal guys. I mean, they just, when you look at what they do, and you look at the caliber of the vehicle, it's not going away. I mean, they're just getting better and better. You know?
Well, the funny thing is watching all the people on the line who are like, it's unsafe to drive a car that old. And I'm like,
no, it's not true.
You people have no idea what went into that.
Yeah.
I would agree to a certain extent with some old cars that, they're death traps if you get in an accident. But it's a risk you assume when you take it out. But, these Resto-Mod things, and I'm sure a lot of the stuff you guys have coming into your shows are just reinforced to the hilt, and they're built like tanks.
Oh, yeah.
More and more of those.
Yeah. It's
more and more.
I'm just glad that chassis work is getting the attention that it wasn't getting before.
Right.
It's, paying attention to the brakes, paying attention to the suspension, doing that stuff right, so it actually everything comes out nice, so they drive well. And besides just looking, because I remember 15 years ago when I was still living in South Florida, you had all this stuff that looked nice, but then the second you got behind the wheel, it fell apart.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at the Ring brothers, and you look at Chris Alston Chassis Works, and you look at who are the guys up north?
Detroit Speed, and there's so many cars that's it. They're focusing, and that's the problem with the '60s muscle cars is their suspension was junk.
Yeah,
they didn't drive good.
Yeah, but you got people like Heights now where you can go back to them, and I love the fact that they're building IRS, for just about everything.
I got a '56 with all Heights on it, and it's just
nice,
just bitching. Yeah,
that cost you a little bit of money.
Yeah, it was a nice project.
So you got a '56. What else do you have?
I got a '33 Roadster.
Okay.
And a '56, and then Greg's got
I have a '69 Camaro.
Okay. And what do you got?
Nothing right now.
Nothing right now. What do you want?
That's a tough one. Depends on how much money you got. 40 Ford pickup or a 56 wagon.
Wagon would be cool.
Yeah, wagons. Do the wagon, man.
Yeah.
Do the wagon. No, but not enough people do wagons. There's a couple really, really pretty wagons up front there on the way in.
Yeah.
People don't respect those cars enough. It's I'd love to see like an early Volvo wagon done up
like a
real
P1800.
Nice. Yeah, something like that. Just just to be different and have something a little. One thing I'm very grateful for is the bro trucks have finally started dying down around here.
Right.
Oh my God, that was a plague of this place for a good 5 years.
And the brand new Camaro. They were everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, GM.
Right.
All credit to GM marketing on that. I mean, it'll be the same way with the C8 next year.
Have you seen this new Stingray that's behind you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. The only I went up and got real close with it, and I think those were top tier 3LT cars.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only complaint I had was the leather was not quite what I wanted it to be. Because I've got a C6 at home.
Okay.
So
beautiful.
The C7's a great car, but I think it's already looking dated.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be kind of like a C3 Corvette.
I like to see the C8 in a convertible. That would be neat.
They have a convertible.
Well, it's a hardtop removal, right?
Standard issue, just like it's been for years with the Vet, is Target Top.
Target Top, yeah.
And then they do have the convertible is a hardtop convertible now.
Wow, that would be that's cool.
Yeah. So starts at 60, but you can.
No, there's gonna be a markup on that bad boy.
Yeah, but I mean, you can if you're ordering, you're patient, you can get it for whatever it is. But
right,
it's you can option it to like 120.
Wow.
Yeah. Frankly, I'm not even interested until the Z06 or the Grand Sport hits the market.
Right.
So then I might be
looking at it. Sure.
Then I might be in the market, but I'm like, no. I'll wait until the big motor comes out.
Sure.
5.5 liter twin turbo.
Yeah, it was a 6.2 now with 495 and 470 torque, which isn't bad. But yeah, that motor would be amazing to see in there. Yeah.
Well, it's flat plane too.
Right.
Allegedly, not that I know anything or.
We see a lot of these motors in the hot rod builds at the Grand National Roadster Show. It's pretty amazing. You see this modern technology in these old builds, and it's exciting because I'm like, God, I've never seen that motor before. And like, oh yeah, that's a new supercharged.
Yeah, well, and the nice thing is that you turn the key and they start it.
Exactly, right. and they drive, and they spin the tires. So that's all it's all about.
It's no fun if you're always fixing it.
Right.
I mean, it was said earlier today, but building is fun, fixing sucks.
Right.
It's.
Well, I've always said there's a difference in working on your car and having to work on your car.
Yeah. Very same thing. I had to work on one of my cars before we got out here, and the day was full, and I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning working on it.
Yeah.
So I got to thank my buddy Patrick back there, who's also producing this. He helped me get that shit done.
Good job, Patrick.
Oh, he's earned his paycheck this week. That's for damn sure. What do you guys think of the new Supra?
The what?
The new Supra, just out of curiosity.
I like that car, but I'm not a big import fan, but the market's cool. I like the look of the car.
Yeah.
I like the styling of it. I don't know. What do you think?
It's not really a Toyota.
Right.
It's a BMW Z4 with Toyota tuning the chassis.
Right.
I'm not crazy about the front end. The nose, especially on that. Otherwise, it's cool. It's just, I don't know how you can justify that in the market when the C8 is an option for the same kind of money.
Right. And that car's been out of the market for a few years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that car's been out of the market since 1995.
Yeah. So it's been a long time.
You got literally an entire generation of people that have never been around those cars when they were on the road for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
But Mark IV Supras now, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen them on the auction block. You can, a really a completely stock low mileage one, scraping at 100K.
That's amazing.
Just like Integra Type R's selling for that kind of money too.
Right.
It seems like it was yesterday, but it's just like, no, that was getting close to 30 years ago.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's we're seeing the value of like the hot rods and those type of cars that are a part of it are growing in value, which is good. I mean, we watch Barrett Jackson and we watch the auctions of various companies, and 10 years ago, a 57 Chevy convertible wasn't nearly what it's at today, and a Corvette, a classic Corvette, we've seen the values rise, which is good, and it's good. It's good for our hobby. It's good for our business.
I mean, and then the other one that's just gone stratospheric. It's just the classic 911s.
Yeah.
I mean, they were worthless for forever.
Right.
And now you can't touch a clean chassis for under 30K.
Right.
It's. I mean, even a 912
or a 914.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Right. but I mean, they're a hot ticket item, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's a Volkswagen, but but they're a hot ticket item.
And you know what that's entirely driven by? The fact that people don't want to pay 911.
Right.
Well, yeah.
That's true.
But you're right. That's what jacks up other models.
Yeah.
10 years ago when a 69 Camaro was the hot thing and the prices were way up, second-gen Camaros started getting popular.
Yeah, 69s are great, but the early second gens are pretty cars too.
Yeah,
with the chrome bumpers.
Yeah,
those are really cool cars. The later ones, not so much, but the early ones were cool.
Early ones are good.
if there was anything that you guys could take on, I mean, we tackled your want. What would you guys build for your next projects?
Oh, I want a 69 Camaro. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but I want one that's done right, sits right.
Okay.
You know, that a styling pro touring car.
Okay.
How about you, Greg?
I do a truck,
You do a truck?
like a 36.
So it's just something you can use a little more readily, or what?
I just think they're bitching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a nice thing, even with a classic truck, you've got more ground clearance and everything, so you
Yeah.
can be a little less nervous about driving it around, which is, that's pretty cool. I mean, some of these classic cars, you got 4 inches, 5 inches of ground clearance. You're like, oh shit, I don't know if I want to take it out.
Well, but that goes back to all the chassis available now. They're engineering them where it sits right.
Yeah.
But it's got the ground clearance, and it handles and steers and stops and everything else.
Art Morrison Enterprises.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, I think they were the first ones to really break out and do just that.
Yeah.
It's and they have an amazing variety of stuff too. But there are a few other people like last time. It's been a couple of years since I've seen them, but Bodie Stroud was going to be doing the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Manufacturing them regularly. I don't know if they came to market yet or not.
I haven't heard
he's-
heard from Bodie in quite a while, so he's probably in it right now. You know, I mean, he's doing it.
His
So,
shop he's always super busy.
Yeah,
He looks like such an imposing guy, and then you realize
Right.
he's the nicest guy.
he's the nice guy in the world.
Yeah.
But that's the Roadster Shop. They're really the ones that are coming on. They've got so many different variations and such now. I think they introduced a new chassis here.
Well, do you know what it was?
I think it was more of an economy kind of one.
Okay.
In that sense. I
That
don't
seems like
remember.
there's probably a lot of room for that.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to go the super high end. They just want something that they can go out and screw around on the weekends, maybe go drive around with the wife or, the kids or the grandkids or whatever.
Right. And that's it. Is you want it to drive better, handle better, but if you're not going to autocross it, then you don't need that.
Yeah.
And there's a niche in the market too. I mean, like I've got a TCI chassis on my Roadster. It's a great car, and they make a great product, and they've branched out, and they do muscle and they do Tri-5 and other, but different price points at different levels of quality build for what you get and what you pay for. So I think it's good.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the stuff that you can get now, it just eliminates months and months and months of work that you would have done 15 years ago. It speeds everything up so much, and it's done better than you ever would have done it.
I agree.
It's just like, oh, these guys, they know how to engineer around bump steer. Okay, well, let's let them do it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they then use off-the-shelf parts from other stuff. So it's just like, there's nothing. It's the worst when you're working on something and then there's a part that's one of one on there.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the only way to fix it is if you spend $6 or $7 at a machine shop.
Right.
So that adds up pretty quickly. Is there anybody here that you would recommend go see their stuff immediately?
Well, we recommend going over to ARP to see that beautiful trophy for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, their products.
And their
They make
products
great
are
products.
pretty amazing.
I think by default everybody uses them because they're really the only big name.
They really are.
Yeah.
And they're super nice people, and they make just a bitchin' product,
I literally couldn't name another manufacturer that does that level of work.
Right.
Otherwise you're just going to Home Depot and hoping and praying that it holds.
Right.
Which we've all done, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen. Well, where can we find you online?
You can find us online at www.rodshows.com. And the Grand National Roadster Show dates are January 24th through 26th.
Okay.
And it's always the last weekend of January. And again, both Grand National and the Sacramento shows, that they fall a couple weeks apart from each other.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the California market for indoor car shows, those two shows. So
Yeah, the indoor could be nice.
yeah,
That could be real
especially up north. It gets a little colder up there.
Yeah, for Sacramento.
Yeah, so that's February 14th through the 16th.
Okay, I think I'm probably gonna have to come out and see you guys.
Definitely, you got to come out.
Yeah, I will do that. And is there Instagram or anything else where everybody can see the stuff?
Yeah, Kevin, what's Instagram?
Instagram is Grand National Roadster Show.
Cool. Well, again, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. It's
Thank
been a
you so
pleasure.
much.
Thanks for having us.
We'll come out. We'll take some pictures and we'll do some coverage on
That'd
that.
be great.
Maybe I'll bring a little portable mic and talk to a few of you guys and pull some of the builders aside too.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
You have a lot. Yeah.
Anytime that I can go into an event and just stack coverage for a few weeks at a time,
Yeah.
I'll gladly do it.
Great.
Because we always need it.
All right, definitely.
All right. Well, again, I have to thank you guys, and then I've got to thank Magnaflow for hosting us on the stage here.
Yeah, thank you, Magnaflow.
Thanks, Magnaflow.
Magnaflow has been great. I've worked with them for years doing this, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So go to magnaflow.com, get your exhaust systems there. They're doing direct sales now, too.
Cool.
So it's an awfully convenient way to buy your exhaust. So I'm Chris Hayes. This has been Fuel Cult, and it's a wrap for our second day at SEMA 2019.
Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
job, Chris.